Hi everyone, welcome to my live creative time today. My name's Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. It's great to be back. I missed you all last week. It is great to be here. I hope that we have a few jump on. And I just realized as I went to go live that I forgot to post today that I was going live today. So I'm wondering how many people are actually going to find me. So we'll see. For those of you watching over on YouTube, and if you're watching the replay here on Facebook, thank you so much for watching the replay. If you are watching over on YouTube, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you click on the little bell notification while you're there, then you will be notified whenever I upload new videos, so you'll be sure to never miss out on anything. So you'll find the live button down on the right hand side of your screen. So if you are live with me today on Facebook, you will see a little red live button up on the top left hand corner, and if you don't see that, then you are probably watching the replay. So feel free to leave a comment, to give me some thumbs up or some hearts. That would be very much appreciated. If you're joining me here live, feel free to chat along with me. Yeah, we'll see how many jump on today. Alrighty, so let me bring this up on my other devices so that I can see all of your comments. And we'll just refresh the screen over here on my computer. As you're jumping on, say hi, let me know that you're here. I always love to have company and love to chat with you all. All right, there we go. Deanne's here. Hi, Deanne. How are you? Lovely to have you with us. Thank you for joining me. And let me bring this up on my iPad as well. It's always good to have double devices just in case, because I often get one that will freeze. So, and yeah, and sometimes two with my iPad, watching the replay on my iPad or the feed on my iPad, though it's delayed, even so sometimes I don't see all of the comments there, so it's good to have my computer up as well. Alrighty, there we go. So how was everybody's weekend? Let me know how your weekend was. We'll chat for a few minutes until a couple more people jump on. And oh, you're loving the air conditioning today, Deanne? Yes. Yeah, it's been a bit of a warm one. Where are you? Are you local to, are you in Sydney or are you in a different state? Here in Sydney, it's a bit warm today too. I had to duck out today to go to the post office. It was my first outing today since my procedure on my back last week, and felt pretty good to get out and about again. And yeah, it was quite hot though. And I had my mask on as well, and I forgot how stuffy it can be with a mask on. Oh, MacArthur region in Sydney. Oh, lovely. Yes, so you would have it very hot over there as well. Probably similar temperatures to what we have here out west. Yes, we get the hot weather out here. I think over there in the MacArthur and here we're around about the same temperatures. Would that be right? I'm in the western suburbs, so it gets quite hot out here too. So at the foot of the Blue Mountains, traps all the heat. So lovely to have you join me. I'm wondering how many other people will find me live today. Because I didn't post that I was going live today, I completely forgot. I'm totally out of routine. Yeah, last week was just crazy. And oh, Amber has just said it's 35 degrees here at the moment. So a bit of a warm one today. And I believe that, is it this week that it's going to get up to close to 40 later this week? Was that what I heard, or am I mistaken? Not sure. But anyway, so I've got some exciting things to share today. And I wanted to, oh, I've got something new to share with you as well. I've got a beautiful project to share. So Deanne, did you see the project last week that I shared? My daughter Amber had created a beautiful project with some of the new products that are coming up soon in the online exclusives. Let me see, do I still have it here or did it get put away? Oh yeah, here it is. This card here. That one there, did you see that one? This one was created by my daughter Amber while I was convalescing last week from my procedure on my back. So yeah, so she did a really beautiful job with that one. So we're going to be using these products again today, but we're doing a fun fold card, and we're doing something very different to this, and it's really beautiful. Oh, you saw it? Great. That's really good. I'm glad that you saw that. Yeah, so she did a beautiful job on that one. So it's great having a creative daughter who is able to help me in my business, especially at times like that where I'm unable to do things myself. So she jumps in and gives a hand, which is awesome. So I'm always very thankful. So yeah, so we're going to be playing with those today. We have a beautiful different fun fold project, as I said. And yes, and I've got some other things to share as well. Now, let me just remind everybody too, for those that maybe watching on the replay later on as well, that we have only got, so today is what is today? The 20th of February. So we've only got 8 more days of celebration. So if you haven't seen the celebration promotion yet, then let me just tell you a little bit about it. During celebration, with purchases of $90 or more, you get to choose a free item from either the celebration brochure or from the second release celebration items, which are current products in our catalogs, and these ones are also available for redemption. So you have lots of choice. They will all come up in the online store when you're purchasing, so you don't have to worry. If you don't have the flyer, don't worry, it'll all come up in the online store, so you'll be able to choose there. So yeah, so that goes until the 28th, so it's a great time to go shopping and get some of those beautiful products for free, which is awesome. So if you needed stocking up on any of your adhesives or ink refills perhaps, or cardstock, designer series paper, any of those sorts of things, now is a great time to stock up and utilize celebration while that is still available. Also too, in me saying that about ink refills, let me just remind you as well about the in colors. So the 2021 to 2023 in colors will be retiring in April, when before the new annual catalog comes out. So as soon as they release that, or actually even getting closer now, they're going to start to sell out, the re-inkers. So if you had the ink pads with the, let me grab, oh actually I can't remember which other, let me see, I've got my catalog here. I can't remember now which are which in colors, because we've got lots of in colors running at the moment. The current ones will run until 2024, but the ones that are going to be retiring are the 2021 to 2023. And let me get the colors. Where are they? Oh yes, so the ones that are going to be retiring will be Polished Pink, Pale Papaya, Evening Evergreen. Oh, I'm so sad that one's going to be going. Soft Succulent and Fresh Freesia. I love that one too, Fresh Freesia. Actually, I love Soft Succulent. Actually, I love all of those ones. So they're all going to be retiring soon. So if you need re-inkers, or you want any of those products, then make sure you get them. But especially the re-inkers, they sell out really lightning quick. So just be sure that, I just realized I didn't put my do not disturb on. I'll just quickly do that now. I love that I can do that from my watch now. It makes it so much easier. And then it syncs to all my other devices. Oh, hey Brenton, how are you? Great to see you. Well, not that I can physically see you, but it's great to have you with us. Yes, so be sure to get those re-inkers for your ink pads if you've got those in colors. And if you don't have those in colors and you wanted them, then make sure you grab those ink pads and the cardstock as well. Make sure you get the re-inkers as well, because they will be retiring really soon. So the official retiring date will be the end of April, but they're going to sell out really soon. They'll start selling out probably in the next month. Well, even before that. So be sure to grab them if that's something that you had been wanting. All right, now I lost my page that I had opened because I had a page opened to show you something in particular. Let me just find it again. Oh my goodness. I turned the page and lost where I was up to. Let me find it. Let me find it. I'm nearly there. Because I'm going to show you something. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so before I do that, before I show you those things, so that's about shopping during celebration. Now, let me also remind you that if you love Stampin' Up! Products and you want the best value for your money, let me help you maximize your value by suggesting to you that you purchase the starter kit. At the moment, the starter kit is only $169, but you get to choose $315 worth of product in your starter kit. So that's $146 worth of freebies that you get to choose. Now, I am happy to help you if you need any help with that, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. That is only available, that offer is only available while celebration is running. So that offer will end in 8 days. So you've got 8 days to join my team before the celebration starter kit offer ends. So please feel free to ask me about that. Now, there is another offer as well for the starter kit, and it includes a mini Stampin' Cup and Emboss machine. So there's the little white mini, or there's the boho blue mini, which is a special limited edition just for celebration. So you can choose either of those, plus still choose still select $315 worth of products for only $210. So this little machine on its own is worth $110. So you're getting, with that offer, you're getting $215 worth for free. So they are great offers. Now, with taking up the starter kit, it doesn't mean that you have to sell products, so please don't be worried about that. You can just be part of the team, enjoy the team community, stay as long as you like, leave whenever you would like to as well, and just utilize the discount as well, because when you join Stampin' Up, you'll automatically get a 20% discount on all of your purchases, which is super awesome. And we get all of the perks that customers get as well. So any specials or anything like that, we get our discount on top of those. So yeah, so please feel free to ask me any questions. I would love to welcome you to our team. We always love to welcome new members to our team. I like to look after my team and take good care of them, and yeah, all the good stuff. So please feel free to ask me any questions that you might have about that. There is a join link in my bio, so you can click on that. I will actually put the links, all of my links attached to this video in the description, both here on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So I've got something in my eye. Oh, all right, so that is about celebration. So make sure you utilize the celebration promotion while that's still available, because we've only got 8 days. Can you believe that? It's gone so fast. Alrighty, so let me just check back. Oh, hi Deborah, how are you? Oh, how is my back? Thank you so much for asking. So I am doing well. So for those of you, I'll just give you a little bit of backstory on my back. For those of you who may not know, I've had a terrible back for many years. But last year was the worst year ever, and I actually ended up in bed flat on my back. Well, actually, I wasn't flat on my back, I was on my side for 2 months, unable to really move, walk, sit, any of those sorts of things. And then it took many months to, for me to be able to be active at all, really. It was only the last few months, really, that since I started hydrotherapy, that's really helped. But it's still not been good. So anyway, I have just had a treatment on my back. I had to go into hospital, and they gave me some pain block injections in 4 locations in my spine. So I was out for a few days, and well, not out for a few days. I was out for the procedure. I was definitely out for the procedure, which was great. So didn't know anything about it. Very stressed leading up to it. Tummy wasn't happy and all sorts of things. So I was a bit worried how I was going to get through it, but I got through it. And yeah, and then the next couple of days I just had to rest, and they actually said to take it easy for a few days. So today was the first day I got out. I've had pain through the whole thing, but for 2 days I had no back pain at all, apart from where the injections had gone in. So that was more from the injections itself and some bruising, which is to be expected. That was the only pain that I had, so a little bit tender just to lay on my back and things like that, so more sort of stayed on my side. But I had no pain in my back. It was amazing. I felt so light. I felt like I could do anything, but I didn't. I was still very cautious. And so gradually I've had a little bit of pain creep back in, just in my glutes actually. So, which is coming from the sacroiliac joint, I believe. But the pain in my upper back is not there at the moment, which is great. But even so, the pain that I do have is much less than what I normally have. So it still feels really good. So even though it's there a little bit, and it's progressed, you know, it started out with just with a little tiny, it was like a tiny little spot of pain, about like I sort of explain it like the size of my thumbprint. That was like I had one little spot in my glute at one point, and now it's sort of spread a bit further over, but it took a few days for that to sort of come back, which was amazing. So it's been, yeah, but the rest of the pain up my back has not come back yet. So the procedure I had was temporary. It was to test to see if these nerves are the culprit of my issues, because I do have arthritis in my back, and so all of the nerves have become sensitized, blah, 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 and I get muscle spasms and all sorts of things. But yes, so I see the specialist again next week, I think it is. Yeah, next week. And we go from there for looking at more permanent treatment. But this was basically the testing treatment to see if this was the actual issue. And as far as I'm concerned, but I'm not the specialist, but I can feel it in my body that was the problem, because those injections did give me pain relief. So, but I know that it's going to come back because that's just a temporary fix at the moment. But there is a longer term treatment that I can probably have. So we'll be talking about that next week. So stay tuned for more of the back saga. But at the moment I'm feeling quite good, Deborah. Thank you. I'm still being very careful because I don't want to set off any more pain. And I'm so used to being so careful what I do and how I move and how I bend and things like that, that it's, yeah, I'm still sort of very cautious at the moment. Hey Helen, how are you? Great to have you with us. So yeah, but feeling pretty good, thank you. And sleeping a lot better at the moment too, which is great. So yeah, so that's a bit about my back. So yes, much improved on where it was, but we're not there yet. We're not quite finished with the treatment yet. So and I'll probably keep having to have treatments because the longer term treatment is not a cure. And the nerves will regenerate over time and things like that. So I'll probably keep needing to keep having treatment every so often. And we don't know how long each treatment will last. So, but this one is just a very temporary one, and we knew that. So yeah, so all good. So, but feeling pretty good. Yes. Alrighty. So let me fill you in with a few other things. Thank you for asking, Deborah. It's hard to tell the story in short form because it's not really a short form story. And if I say, yeah, I'm great, then it's not really the whole truth. So yeah, anyway. So, all right, let me tell you a few other things. So of course we have got the mini catalog still running at the moment as well. This one is going to end on, now let me see, I'm so rusty. This one's ending on the 1st of May. Okay, so this one's going to end on the 1st of May. It is the January to April catalogue, but it is still available for another couple of months. So if you would like a copy of this or our annual catalogue, please let me know. I'd love to get those out to you. The celebration brochures, if you need one of those, the best way to get one of those would be to look on my blog for the PDF version because it ends in 8 days, so I probably wouldn't be able to get that to you in time. But anyway, all those celebration items that are available will pop up in the online store with your qualifying order over $90. So yeah, so just know that that information is there for you anyway. All right, let me tell you about something really exciting that I have. Now, somebody asked me just recently about all of the different papers we have because Stampin' Up! Has so many different types of paper. So we've got our cardstock. We know what cardstock is and how to use that. Well, those of us that are paper crafters do. Maybe perhaps new people, I'm not quite sure yet, but stay tuned, you'll learn. Then we've got our designer series papers, which are our patterned papers. So we use them as a decorative layer on our cards. I shared this one just at the very beginning, but it is, I'll hold it up again. This is one that my daughter Amber made last week while I was convalescing from my treatment, pardon me, from my procedure. And she has used some designer series paper in the background as a pattern. Okay, so it's just pattern paper and we use that as decorations. Now, some of the designer series paper that Stampin' Up! Is now putting out coordinates with some of our dies. So for instance, these ones are actually die cut with metal dies from the designer series paper. So they're not stamped, they're actually the designer series paper. So I love that Stampin' Up! Is starting to do that and coordinate. That's a great thing about Stampin' Up! Products is everything coordinates. So it makes card making and paper crafting really, really easy. So there you go. And that's a beautiful, beautiful card. We're going to be playing with these products today, but I have a fun fold card for you today in different color tones to this one as well. So stay tuned for that. Then we also have a whole heap of different specialty papers. So some of the designer series papers are specialty papers, which means that they have some sort of foiling built into them, or some sort of, some of them have got UV coating, and they have different sort of effects in the printed pattern on the papers. But then we've got a whole heap of other papers as well. So I'll just have a look and yeah, so I'm in the annual catalogue at the moment, and on page 139, if you have your annual catalogue open, there's a whole heap of specialty papers here that are different to the designer series papers. So, okay, so if you have a look there, I've covered up a couple of those because I'm not going to be talking about those specific ones today that I've covered up. These other ones here are used to embellish or to enhance our design on our projects. So I have actually put together a metallics and specialty paper sampler, which I am going to be selling. So it includes these papers here, and I have got the packs here to show you. So I might actually tip the camera down in a moment and I'll show you what's in them. So we have got a metallics sampler and a specialty paper sampler, and there's two different packs there, and they're going to come in packs of, or sheets of 6x6 paper, and that is going to be available to you for purchase. So it's sort of like a paper share like I've run before, but instead we're calling it a paper sampler this time. So in the metallics, you're going to get some rose gold specialty designer series paper, and that's in 3 different finishes. You've got brushed metallic cardstock, silver foil, copper foil, gold foil, distressed gold, and rose gold metallic specialty paper. So you get a total of 14 pieces in that one, all in 6x6. Now these are nice small little pieces that you can have a bit of a play with and see what you like. Okay, because maybe not all of those, or maybe you've looked in the catalogue and thought, oh my goodness, I don't want to outlay for all of those different papers because there's so many and it adds up when you buy each of the packs. This is a great way of getting a little bit of each of those packs for you to have a little play with and see what you like. Then we've got a specialty sampler as well, which includes the in color glimmer papers, which that's one of them there. I'll take these out and show you in a moment. We've got brushstroke specialty paper, the vellum layering designs, which are the printed vellums, pearlescent paper, and the linen specialty paper. And that pack has got 16 pieces. So you can choose either of these packs, or you might want to choose both of them and get the lot. And then so 16 pieces in that one and 14 pieces in that one. So that's 30 pieces. So yeah, so there's the options there. So what I'll do is I'll show you what's in them, and then I'll put the link up as well. And then if you're interested in those, you can complete the registration form for those. And yeah, and then I can get those out to you. So before I do that, I'll do that when I tip the camera down so that I can show you close up. Before I do that, let me just say hello to a couple of people that have just jumped on. Hey Roz, how are you? Great to have you here. Hey Jenny, great to have you here. Hey Julie, great to have you here. Wonderful. Now I was actually just going to, it's funny that Julie just jumped on because beautiful Julie has just been and dropped something on my doorstep as I was preparing to go live, and I heard Callie barking and I thought it was my son coming home from work because he finishes early today. In fact, he hasn't actually even come home yet. I thought he would be home by now. And I thought it was him coming in the door, but it turned out then I got a little message saying, I've left something on your doorstep. And Julie had bought me a beautiful bunch of flowers, and she made this gorgeous card as well. It's a fun fold card, and it was to wish me well since having my procedure. So isn't that just so gorgeous? Thank you so much for that, Julie. It was so beautiful. I did already send Julie a message, but that was just so sweet and thoughtful. So yeah, thank you so much. I love that. But I wanted to share your card today on my live because I really love that fun fold. So I might have to copy that and do one of those on one of my lives one day. I really like that. So thank you so much. It's a beautiful card. I'll pop that over there. That'll go up on my display shelf up behind me after I finish filming. All right. So yeah, so that was as I was getting ready to go live today. Okay, so how about I tip the camera down? I'll show you all these beautiful papers that are going to be in the metallics and specialty paper samplers that I'm running. Now it's only going to run for the next week as well. So you've got a week to register and a week to register and pay, and then I can get them out to you. All right, so let me just tip the camera down. So I'll cover up so that I don't make you dizzy. Here we go. All right, so I'll cover that up. Oops, did I cover that up right? There we go. I'll do a little flippity flip. I'm a bit rusty. I feel a bit rusty because I missed last week with my lives. So I feel like we'll see how we go. It's funny, it doesn't take long. You only miss 1 week and then it feels so rusty. All right, there we go. So we'll see how that looks. Okay. So this is the information I've printed out from my from the registration form. I'll just move that over for the moment so that I can show you the products first, and then I'll talk about the registration. Oh, Julie said, you're welcome. It's one of Kylie Bertucci's cards from her live. Oh, it's the Z fold one that she did. Oh, nice. Thanks, Julie. All right. So, yeah, so in the annual catalog, which is this one here, page 139, if you want to have a closer look or a read about these particular papers that I'm including in these samplers, this is where you'll find the information, okay? Or you can find it in the online store, of course. But we've got all these different specialty papers, and we've got lots of metallics here as well. So what I thought I'd do is I'd break them up into metallics and then the other specialty papers as well. And that way you can choose which way you'd like to do it. So, as I said, I've got the 2 packs. So we've got the metallic sampler and we've got the specialty sampler, or you can get them both. It's totally up to you. It's $17 for the metallic sampler and $13 for the specialty sampler, and then your postage as well. So all that information is in the registration form. Okay, so I will put that link up in a moment, but let me show you what you get in the pack. So this is the metallics pack, or the metallics sampler as we're calling it, and I'll take them out. So you're going to get a 6x6 piece in a little, it'll come in a little baggie like that, and you're going to get all of these pieces. So we've got rose gold, we've got look at that one, that one's gorgeous. We've got all of these different foils, and there's lots of different colors. All the information is on the registration form. So even if you want to just go onto the registration form just to have a look exactly what is included, but these will give you a sampling of all of these beautiful metallics, and there'll be a board in there as well to keep them nice and flat for you. You get all of these so that you can create with those in your projects. Okay, so that's the metallics. That's the metallics pack. Okay, so you get all of those. Now, even though they are, oh, there's one hiding behind here. Even though they are 6x6 sheets, it gives you, it's a sampling, and it's based. Sorry, I cut them to that size to give you like a little selection, a little taste of all of those different papers, because you will probably find that you prefer some over others, and that just gives you a little taste. Now, when I'm using metallics, because the metallics are they're quite a bit more expensive than our regular designer series paper, I usually use these fairly sparingly on my projects. So I'll just use a little piece. I won't use like a whole card front piece or something like that. Occasionally I will, but if I do that, I usually cut out the centerpiece and save that, you know. So yeah. So hey Athena, how you going? How am I? I am doing okay, thank you. I'm doing much better than I was a week ago. So that's the metallics range. So I'm going to pop them straight back in the packet because they do scratch up very easily. So you want to take care with your metallics when you're using those. Oh, and can I even get it back in the packet? I'll put it all the way in later. All right, and then this is the specialty paper sampler. This time I might leave the board in, so that it makes it easier for me to get the papers back in. There we go, hopefully. All right, so this one, we've got the in color glimmer papers. So there's those. And then we've got the brush stroke paper, which is absolutely stunning paper, really beautiful. Then we've got all the vellums, and these vellums are printed. So they're still opaque like a vellum, but they're printed, and you've got 3 different designs, but you actually end up with 6 because you've got it in the white and then in the black print. So I've set on the sheet 6 designs because you do have the black and the white. Then you've got some pearlescent paper, and then this one is linen paper. So this is actually this linen paper. I played with that ages ago now. I did a little I did a video playing with some of this a while ago, but this is actually adhesive backed, so it has a paper protective backing on it, but it is actually adhesive backed, so you can peel it off the backing. Anyway, I won't do it now because this might end up being somebody's pack. But you peel the backing off and then adhere it straight onto your paper. But you can stamp on this, you can blend with your blending brushes, you can fray the edges, you can do all sorts of things with this. It's really, really beautiful paper to work with. So yeah, so there you go. So that is the specialty sampler pack. And as I said, you can get you can choose which one of those you would like, or you might want to choose both packs. So I'll just pop this back in here to protect those papers, and I'll pop the link up. Can I get them back in now is the question. So the postage is additional, okay, or you can pick them up from me if you are local. So that's up to you. I can't get that one back in right now. I'll do that later. So yeah, so that's the 2 packs. All right. So that's the metallics and the specialty paper samplers. All right. Any questions about those? Does anybody have any questions about those? I just thought that was a good way of getting some of the different papers into people's hands. As I said, sometimes people don't want to pay the full amount for the whole pack. And there's so many different ones to choose from. It can be a bit overwhelming to know which one to choose. And that way, that just gives you a sample of a whole heap of different papers. All right, so I am going to put the link in the comments here on Facebook. And I will also, there we go, I've just popped that there. I will also put a link to that on my... I just realized my camera's not even straight. I'll put a link on that in the description as well. I'm just going to straighten up this camera because otherwise it's going to annoy me. All right, so there you go. So check that one out and see what you think. And if that's something that you would like, then yeah, complete the registration form and we can go from there and I can get those beautiful papers into your hands. Alrighty, let's get on to our project for today. I'll just move my keyboard now. All right, so moving on to the next thing. The next thing is online exclusive. So if you've been following my my Facebook page, you might have seen me post about online exclusives. Now this is really exciting because Stampin' Up! Is creating a new section in the online store called Online Exclusives. This is going to be for them to release products in between catalogs, basically. So rather than having to wait for another new catalog to come out for them to release these products, they're going to be able to pop them into this section in the online store yeah, whenever there's a new product that they want to release. At the moment, they're saying it'll be every other month. So every couple of months, there'll be a new product that'll be released. And the first one is going to be released on the 1st of March. So the first few, actually, there's going to be more than one. So when you go on the 1st of March, when you go to the online store, there'll be this new section, and I'm sure there'll be an advertising banner that'll come across the front of the top of your screen, so you'll be able to see it. And I'll show you the products. Here they are here. So we've got the beautiful Hello Irresistible Suite Collection. And I'm going to show you those products today. So we've got the stamp set and the dies. There's beautiful designer series paper and the loose frosted dots. We're going to be playing with those today. So I'll be able to show you those in person. Then there's also going to be the naturally gilded 12 by 12 designer series paper, which I don't have that one yet. There's the Basics 3D embossing folders, which is a pack of 3 embossing folders, which I do have. Oh, I know what I meant to do today. I meant to emboss each one of those to show you the finishes, but I forgot. And then there's a Classic Letters stamp set as well. And I believe there's going to be some others as well, because you might notice here, there's another little stamp here, a little character with some dies. So that's going to be another bundle. We don't know too much about it yet, but there's going to be some other animals. You can kind of see a little sneak peek here. So that's going to be super exciting. And there's even some ribbon here. So there's going to be a few other items as well that are even surprise to us. Now, as demonstrators, we've been able to order these early because that's one of the perks of being a demonstrator. We get to order products early. So let me show you the gorgeous designer series paper. It's called Hello Irresistible. It's in 6 by 6 inches. Oh, Julie said she's excited about the animal bundle. Yeah, I think it's going to be really cute. It looks really cute in the pictures from what you can see of it. So these are the beautiful designer series papers, and we've got Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Lost Lagoon, which is interesting. That is an old color that used to be around a really long time ago. We've also got Petal Pink, Pretty Peacock, which is also a color that has retired about a couple of years ago, I think. It was a beautiful color, and Soft Sea Foam. So the fact that there are some old colors that are in this paper seems to indicate it has generated a lot of chat amongst the demonstrators, let me tell you. And it seems to indicate that we are getting some old colors back again. Now, Stampin' Up! Hasn't confirmed that, but that's what the chat is. That's what the chatter is, that there's going to be perhaps a color refresh coming. It hasn't been confirmed yet from Stampin' Up! We are waiting to hear about that, but that's what everyone is thinking. So usually Stampin' Up! Does a color refresh about every 5 years, and it's been 5 years. And the fact that we have different colors returning in this paper lends us to believe that perhaps there might be a color refresh coming, but I can't guarantee that. So don't hold me to that. That's just the chat that's been going around. So we will see. We will find out more information very soon, apparently. Oh, Roz said the letters in the letter stamp is quite large. Do you have that one, Roz? Awesome. Okay, so this one here, the classic letters stamp set. How tall, do you know how tall they are, Roz? Do you have a measurement? Would they be like an inch, 2 inches? Oh, maybe we should do centimeters, either or. Yeah, I have seen somebody show these on camera, and they did look a lot larger than what they looked, you know, sort of what you expected from the image. Oh, Julie said she still has her Pretty Peacock stamping pad, so she's hoping. Yes, I kept mine too, actually, and I've still got some cardstock too, so I'm also hoping the same, Julie. Oh, Amber just said the same thing, Roz. Do you have the stamp set, Roz? And if so, how tall is each letter? We'll wait and see if Roz is able to give us some more information about that if she's in her craft room. So anyway, these are the beautiful papers. Aren't they just gorgeous? The designs on these ones give the effect of the emboss resist technique. They're actually not embossed. It's a flat image, but they look like that. And then if we turn over, you've got these beautiful designs on the back as well. So that's the gorgeous paper, and you've got like that watercolor look in the background as well. So they're really beautiful. Now it comes in a pack of 48, so I've just shown you one lot, but yeah, they come in a big pack. You can see we've been using it, chopping it up. The stamp set is this one here, the Irresistible Blooms. It's a cling stamp set, so it's red rubber cling stamp set. Oh, I've got some extra bits in there. So I've already put the stickers on there. In fact, actually Amber put those stickers on for me because, of course, we got this when I wasn't able to play with it because of my back. And these are the dies. So this is the Irresistible Blooms dies. So we've got this gorgeous frame here. This one here, we're going to use that today. So I'll show you how to use that. We can die cut the images here, the flowers and the leaves, and also some of the images in some of the designer series papers will also cut out with those dies as well. So we've got some papers in here that have got the larger images like those leaves, and there's one with the flowers. So those dies will also die cut some of those as well. Okay. Oh, Roz has let us know. She said, yes, I have the letters, but can't measure at the moment as she's at the orthodontist with her son. Oh, no worries. But they're about 2 centimeters. We'll have to confirm when she gets home. Okay, so let's have a look. So 2 centimeters. 2 centimeters. So that big. So about that big. Would that be about right? But yeah, she'll let us know. So if I'm still filming when you get home, Roz, if I'm still on, then yeah, let us know. That'd be great. Thank you. All right, and then we've got the beautiful embellishments, and I've got them up here. These loose frosted dots. I'm excited to play with these today. Look at these. They come in a couple of different different sizes. We've got the yellow ones, so the Daffodil Delight, the pink ones, which is like the Flirty Flamingo, and then the darker green ones, which must be the peacock, the pretty peacock. But they're so pretty. But yeah, they're loose. So you could use them as shaker cards, or you can use them as embellishments, which we're going to do today. So we need to get started. Been chatting for so long. Oh, hang on. Before we do that, let me show you the embossing folders. I was wanting to emboss these to show you up close. I'll show you this one. So this one here, if I hold that up, can you see? This one is one of them. Oh yeah, you can see that nicely on camera there. That's a really nice sort of crosshatch design, which I love that one. I think that one's going to be one of my favorites. So that's this one. And then this one is, let me see if I put something in there. I'll put a piece of paper in there. Can you see? You see the design on there? It's sort of like a little starred flower. Really pretty. And then this one is polka dots. Sorry, I meant to do these for you. I might actually do that as a post. I'll emboss some cardstock and put them up on a post for you so you can see them. But aren't they really cool? And they come in a 3-pack together, which is awesome. So usually when we get our embossing folders, they come in a single pack, except for some of the embossing folders for the mini machine. Some of them are in a double pack or a 2-pack, but these ones actually are in a 3-pack. So that's super awesome. And these are 3D as well, so you get that really deep impression. So yeah, so love them. I think they're going to be very popular. All right. Okay. So are we ready to get on to our card today? We're going to be doing some heat embossing today, actually. So I've got my heat tool out. Now, let me tell you also, these products that are available at the moment, because we were talking earlier about the opportunity with Celebration to get an amazing $143 worth of free product when you join during Celebration. At the moment, you can actually add these items into your starter kit. So they will be available from the 1st of March for customers, but if you want to order them early, you can get them right now in your starter kit. So if you would like to do that, let me know so that I can give you the codes for the items to pop into your starter kit. Okay, so you can add those ones in right now as well. So it's another great way of getting them right away. And if you are already a demonstrator, of course, we can order them now. So if you weren't aware of that. Okay, so let me show you what we are going to be making today. So we have got a bridge card today. Now you might remember I made one of these a while ago. It was last year, I think. We made some bridge cards, and we did these in our team. One of our beautiful team members showed us how to make these, and then I made one on a Facebook Live. These fold flat for mailing, okay? So they do fold flat, but we're going to be making this one today. Well, in fact, we're not making this one exactly because I'm going to change the colors. So this one is gorgeous. Amber made this one again last week while I was convalescing. So she was very busy in the craft room while I was up in bed. So she's made this one, but today, so I'm casing her card, but I'm using different papers. So let's get on with the show. We have got some embossing we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of emboss resist, but here are all the pieces. Now, I won't give you all of the measurements today because what I'll do is I'll put this up on my blog and I'll tomorrow, and then that'll have all of the measurements, all of the colors, all of the everythings. You'll be able to find it there. All right. So let me pull out all of the pieces. So this is the base piece. I will just talk you through creating the base piece because yeah, I guess I will be able to explain that in my video, on my blog as well. But I'll I'll step you through that bit while we are live today. All right, we've also got all of these bits and pieces, but the colors that we're going to be using today, rather than using the pinks and sort of the pinky yellowy paper, well, we've got a bit of mixture actually. We've got the pink and yellow and we've got the green. We're going to be doing the greens and blues today. So we're going to be using all these colors. Aren't these pretty? Look at that paper. Isn't that just so gorgeous? And look at this one. It looks like it's been the emboss resist technique. Let's just say that. And this one looks like watercolor. So they're the ones that we're going to use today. And then we're going to do some die cutting with those gorgeous dies. And then we're going to use these colors here for our flowers and leaves. So we've got some pool party, soft sea foam, and soft succulent for our leaves. All right, so that is what we are doing. So let's get started. We'll create our base first. Got all of these bits here. All right, so we're going to need our trimmer, our paper trimmer. So if you don't have a Stampin' trimmer, let me just tell you, this is a great trimmer and scoring tool. Okay, so you've got the two blades, you've got a scoring blade and you've got a cutting blade. All right, now I've already got this piece cut to size, so I will just let you know what this one is, and then all the other pieces I'll list in on my blog. But this one is 21 centimeters by 10.5 centimeters, and we are going to move our blade away and just use our scoring blade. Okay, so this is just a piece of basic white. We are going to score this at 3 centimeters and 6 centimeters on both ends. All right, so we will start with this end, our left-hand end, and we're going to score at 3 centimeters. Then we're going to score at 6 centimeters. So we're moving along to the 6 centimeters. Okay, then we're going to flip it around to the other side and we're going to do the same on the other end. So 3 centimeters. Make sure that you have your cardstock flush up against that little ledge at the end there, so it stays nice and straight. And then 6 centimeters. There we go. Okay, so that's all the scoring that we need to do. All the other pieces have already been cut to size, so we don't need to do any other cutting today. Now I'm going to take my bone folder, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flip that over so that I've got my, that one score? That one did score, but it didn't score very deeply, so I'll have to be careful when I do that one. So we've got our mountain folds this way up. So the mountain fold is where you can feel the bump, the ridge. That's the mountain, because the cardstock sticks up like that. Okay. The valley fold is the other side because it dips down like a valley. Okay. So I'm having the mountain fold on the top, and I'm going to fold the cardstock in this way. Make sure that this is lined up nice and square there. And then I'm just going to take my bone folder. So this is a bone folder. And I'm just going to burnish along the edges there. So I'll do the same on the other side. There we go. And then with that extra little flap, what I'm going to do then is fold that back on itself like that. Okay, and then we'll burnish that as well with our bone folder. And I'll do the same with this one. Fold that back on itself, burnish. Okay, so you end up with your card like that. All right, so that's the basis of your card. That's the card base. Now to write on this card, you can write on the back here, okay? Because you can't write anywhere here, okay? So you can actually write on that side. So what I would suggest you do is to fold your card down flat like that and write on there. So if you want to put an extra little piece of cardstock on there, perhaps a coordinating color, a light color that you can write on, then you can put that in there and write your little message there. Okay, that's what we do with the bridge cards. All right, so that's out the base of our bridge done. Now we need the bridge part, which is this part here. Okay, but we're not attaching that just yet. So I've got this strip here for the bridge, okay, and that's going to attach there like that. But we don't want to attach that yet because we've got to add all of the designer series paper first. Because if we attach that now, it makes it very difficult to put all of these pieces in. Okay, so we're going to add all of our pieces. So we'll leave that to the side for the moment. Gee, my desk is dirty. I just realized how dirty my desk is. Should have given that a clean before we went live. Never mind. All right, so let's start off. Here's all of our little pieces. Now this piece here is for my bridge, so I'll put that aside there for my bridge, and these are all my little pieces, and I've got them labeled because this was one, I'll just show you, this was one piece of designer series paper, and I labeled the backs of them so that they all meet up, so the design flows, because I wanted the design to flow. Oh, hey Dimity, how you going? I wanted the design to flow across these panels. Okay, so I just labeled the back of them. All right, so each one of these is looks about can't remember now, is it 2 centimeters, something like that, 2.5, 2 point something, 2.7 or something. Anyway, all the measurements will be on my blog, as I said. So I will post that up tomorrow. All right, so first of all, we're going to take this piece. I'm going to use a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue, and we're going to adhere this. You know what I don't have? I don't have a silicone craft sheet or a grid paper on my desk today. So hang on a sec. I'm going to grab, let's see if I can grab a silicone craft sheet. Where are they all? No? Okay, let me grab a piece of grid paper. I'll get a small grid paper just to keep any extra sticky off my desk. I think there's already enough yuckies on my desk that will get cleaned up when I finish filming today. All right, let's pop that down. There we go. All right, I'll put some glue, move that to the side. I'll put some glue on here. I like to use the multi-purpose liquid glue because it gives me that wiggle room so that we can position that in place before that glue dries. There we go. Okay. I love the color of this paper. It's so beautiful. If Pretty Peacock is coming back, and it must be, like seriously, why would Stampin' Up put Pretty Peacock in designer series paper if they weren't bringing it back? Really, it must be coming back, has to be coming back, which I'm very excited about because I love that color, and it was a very, very popular color. So I'm just sliding this around to get that lined up. There we go. Okay. And Lost Lagoon, I think Lost Lagoon was a color that was out maybe even before I was a demonstrator. I don't recall Lost Lagoon, so I think it must have been around before I was a demonstrator. So yeah. All right, so we are going to do these side panels now. So as I said, I've got them labeled. Oh, Amber said she thinks I'll find my silicone craft sheet on the shelf above. Okay. Yes. Oh, actually, yes. There, they both are up there. I wonder if they're dusty though, because they've been sitting on the shelf for I don't know how long. Oh, that's okay. Grid paper will be okay for today. Thanks, Amber. All right, so we'll pop these ones down on each of these panels, and they're just going to have a little border around each one. So just try and line them up nice and straight. There we go. Okay, so that's my number 1, and this is my number 2. And you don't have to number them. The only reason I numbered them was because I wanted that pattern in the designer series paper to just flow through, flow across, I should say, across my card. been, I'm just trying to think how long since I made a fun fold or fancy fold. Do you call them a fun fold card or a fancy fold card? Because people call them different things, and I think sometimes I call them both, depending on who I'm talking to or what sentence I'm using. So, I think I just keep interchanging. Fun fold, fancy fold, either or. I think it's a bit like tomato, really, isn't it? Either is correct. There we go. And last one, number 4. Love these papers. They are so beautiful. Just so pretty. Any of you who are demonstrators that are watching today, do any of you already have this suite of products? Do you already have the Hello Irresistible suite of products? They are gorgeous. If you don't have them, oh my goodness, you need them. They're so pretty. So pretty. All right, so I'm just getting glue off my fingers. Okay, so that's going to be our beautiful fun fold card. Now we've got to put our sentiment on there as well, and we should do that now before we attach the bridge. But we can adhere the designer series paper to the strip, to the bridge strip. So I'll do that. And then we've got to do some die cutting because we've got to add some die cutting there too. Oh, Julie has them. Yay. Aren't they gorgeous? So pretty. Have you created much with them yet, Julie? And Dimity has them too. She has them all. Oh, awesome, Dimity. Have you created with yours yet? I'd love to see them. Actually, you guys should put them in our team group so that we can have a look. I'd love to see them. There we go. Okay, so that's our bridge. We're not going to attach that just yet. All right, we'll do some stamping and some die cutting. And so that's sort of forms the basis. When you're attaching the bridge, I'm going to show you how to do that too, so that you can do that easily to make sure that everything lines up. And also too, you want to, so that that's going to lay flat to go in the post as well. So we'll do that bit down the track. Okay, so let's not jump ahead. All right, so this one is going to be die cut. This one is for the sentiment. And we've got some flowers and leaves to stamp as well. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't mount up my stamps. So let's do that. I'll grab some blocks here. So I'm going to stamp the little hello sentiment. I like that one. I think that's a universal stamp. It's one that you could use for any occasion. Oh, Amber, sticky stickers. It's funny because when Amber and I mount the stickers onto our stamps, I always de-stickify. That's my special word. I de-stickify one corner so that I always know that's the corner I can lift up easily off my blocks, because the stickers are quite sticky. Amber always ends up de-stickifying a different corner to me. So whenever she's put the stickers on and I go to lift them out of the packet or off a block, I'm like, oh my goodness, where is it de-stickified? So then when I use them, I have to de-stickify them in my spot. So we both do it a little bit differently. There we go. So we want those ones, and we're using this leaf here. Okay, let's de-stickify that little one and get another block. Now I've got lots of blocks because I used to hold in-person classes, so, but that's okay. If you don't have that number of blocks, just interchange your blocks as you need to stamp your stamps. I'm just very thankful that I have lots, so it makes it easy. nice little one. De-stickify his little tail. We'll pop him on that one. There we go. Now, is that all that we need? Yes, I think that's it. We've got a great splatter in here too. I love a stamp set that has a splatter in them because I love the distressed look of a splatter. This particular card, well, it does actually have splatter because it's in the designer series paper. But we don't have to stamp any extra splatter because it's already there for us. So there you go. Alrighty, so let's do some stamping. Now we're going to just stamp the sentiment first. So what I'll do, hang on a sec, let's move our card over to there. Just move our card, that's got to be die cut. They're going to be die cut. Our flowers and leaves are going to be stamped in a moment because they're being stamped onto coloured cardstock. But our sentiment is going onto white, and then we're going to punch it. And I'll work out which way, where do I want this to go? No, it's got to go that way. Okay, so I'm going to, so that's one thing I always do. If you know that you're going to be punching out a sentiment, take your cardstock and work out where you want to stamp your sentiment first and work out that where it's going to punch. Because if I was to stamp my sentiment that way, well, of course, we can see that the cardstock is going to be the wrong size to punch the shape then. If I was to stamp it in the middle or up this end, then it's not easy to hold the cardstock. So I'm going to stamp it sort of down towards the bottom end there and sort of in the center-ish. Okay, if you're die cutting, it doesn't matter because, you know, you can kind of die cut anywhere on the cardstock. But yeah. All right, now I've got Pool Party and Soft Sea Foam. I think I'm going to go with the Pool Party for the sentiment. And we're going to be using some Versamark ink as well today for the embossed resist on the coloured cardstock for the flowers and the leaves. There we go. So there's our little hello stamp. Actually, we're going to be using both of those inks for our flowers too. Oops. All right, so give this a little clean. And we'll punch that out with our, I'm just using the plain oval. Line that up, and there we go. So there's our hello. Okie dokie. Now we might pop that onto our background now because we're going to put that on with some dimensionals. So we'll grab a couple of dimensionals. Oops. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? There we go. Pop them on the back. That one, the backing came off that one, so let's use that one. There we go. Okay, and we'll pop this down. I'm going to pop this over here on the background here. Okay, so there's our little sentiment there. Now we can add some of the gems in the background at this point too, if we would like to, or we can pop them in later. We can probably, might be hard to, so on this one that Amber created, there are some gems, or not gems, what are they called? Frosted dots on the background piece. Now to get them in down there, down in those lower parts, can you see them in down there? After we've put the bridge on, that would be a little bit tricky. So it might be good to do that now before we put the bridge part on. Okay, so let's do that. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. Oh, Julie's planning to make her team challenge projects using this new suite. Oh, beautiful. So every month in our team, we have a creative challenge that I run, and everybody creates a card. I give them a an example, or like set the parameters for the challenge, and then they create their project and add them into the challenge album, and then I draw a winner during our team gathering. And that's what Julie is referring to, our team creative challenge. So she's going to make something using these products, which will be beautiful. I can't wait to see it, Julie. That's awesome. Now, do we go color on color, tone on tone, or do we use, I'm just thinking, because these other colors we're not actually using, so we're not using pink and we're not using yellow. Actually, the yellow might be a good, just having a look to see how the color comes through with those on this background. No, I think we'll keep it, the same. I think we'll go with these ones. The, what do you call it? I'm going to keep forgetting the name of this color until I get it in my head again. Pretty Peacock. Is that it? Pretty Peacock? So these little loose frosted dots are actually in 3 different sizes. I thought they were only in 2, but they're actually in 3 different sizes. So that's pretty awesome. I'm just placing them where I want to put them before I adhere them. Let's put another one over here, or maybe over here. Yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, got to have an odd number. So let's get another little one and put another little one maybe up here. Yes, I like that. Okay, let's glue those on. So I'm just going to use a little tiny bit of multi-purpose liquid glue to adhere those. Then we'll give them a chance to stick while we do the other parts. So actually, you know what? It's probably easier to just pop a little bit of glue on your cardstock, but you don't want too much. I only want a tiny dab because it will ooze. There we go. Okay, so that's one. I feel like I'm doing this khaki-handed. Swap hands. Well, I can't wait to see your beautiful projects that you're going to make for our creative challenge, Julie, using these products. They're going to be awesome. So this month for our team creative challenge, we have a sketch challenge. And the sketch was actually the card that Amber made last week. Not this one, the other one. Oh, hang on a minute. That's my spatula end. It's got a little bit too much glue, so I'm just going to scrape that off with my pokey pokey tool, as I like to call it, my paper piercing tool. There we go. So the sketch challenge is this sketch. So that's the one that we, oh hey Fee, how you going? So that's the one that we have for our team challenge this month, is this layout, or an interpretation of this layout. So that'll be great. Let me just scroll back up. I'll see if I've missed any comments. Hang on one sec. Okay, Dimity said fun fold. She says, because I was asking before who says fancy fold and who says fun fold. So Dimity says she calls them fun fold. And Amber said she must be more fancy than she is fun. She calls them fancy folds. There you go. And I think there was another comment I missed. Hang on, I'll scroll back up again. I think I just lost it. Oh, Dimity said she's just used the folders on them and she's making a purse. Oh, that's cool. Where's this one going? This one's going here. That sounds really cool, Dimity. All right, so put a tiny little dab of glue there and add this one. There we go. And this one. And then we'll do our stamping, and I'm going to show you how to do a little bit of emboss resist. we're doing a bit of heat embossing. It's not, what we're doing today is not true emboss resist. It's kind of along those lines, but it's not full emboss resist. Oh, I've got too much glue on this one. Hang on. Let's get rid of that. Oh, come on, stick. Stick. There we go. We don't want too much excess. Oh, I missed this one. We don't want too much excess glue because we don't want everything to stick when we close it, when we close the card to put it in the envelope, when we fold it flat. We don't want the side panels to sort of stick and stay there. We want it to be able to pop back up. So you don't want to put too much excess glue. We don't want it to stay sticky. There, you stick there, you. You stick there, you little dot. There we go. So we got that pretty bling in the background. Can you see that? It's hard to see on camera, like, because when you see it in real life, like you have the shine from those dots and you have the dimension from them, and we'll probably put some on the other panels as well. We'll do that in a little bit. We'll let those ones dry and we'll move on to the stamping. We'll pop that over to the side. All right. Hey, Martha, how you going? Great to have you here. Oh, thanks, Fee. Fee said nice card. And Dimity said I've made 3, just need an oval shape and then she's finished. Oh, wow. Awesome. Sounds great. All right. Now let's do some stamping. And then we've got to do some die cutting as well. So we're going to have, so we're going to do some leaves on this one. And then we're going to do some flowers on this one. And I have now got sticky all over me. Let's just get some of that sticky off. Okay. All right, for the emboss resist, we're going to use Versamark ink and white embossing powder. And I'm actually not using my embossing tray today. I'm using just regular copy paper because I discovered in my other tub of, well, actually Amber discovered in my other tub of embossing powder, I should say, I hadn't actually cleaned out my embossing tray properly, and I had previously used a darker color, and I contaminated my other tub of white embossing powder with other color embossing powder. So if you are using your embossing tray, be sure to clean it out completely before you use white or clear embossing powder with your tray. Okay, so there's just a little tip because, yeah, I learnt from experience. Alrighty, so first of all, we're going to stamp. Now let's see, I think we're going to do, so that's going to be I'm just trying to work out which flower I'm going to do in which color. If I want my large flower in, yeah, I think I want, trying to work out which one. These are the 2 colors of flowers that I wanted, but I hadn't yet decided which one I wanted for which size flower. I don't suppose it really matters. I think that one needs to be on the bottom and that one needs to be, I don't know. Well, you know what? We'll do one of each and then we can choose. That's the best thing to do, isn't it? All right, so I'm going to use the large flower. It's a little bit larger than the ink pad, so I'm going to take the ink pad to the stamp for this one. And we are going to stamp that one. And then we'll do the little one as well. Just move that over there. I'm not going to clean them just yet because I'm going to stamp them onto the other color as well. Okay. Now, before that ink dries, we'll get a bit of embossing powder onto those. So this is the white. This comes in your basics embossing powder range. So you get a pack of 3 embossing powders in that one. You'll get the white, clear, and black. Grab my little paintbrush and I'll just give a little tap, tap, tap on the back. There we go. All right, so we need to heat that, but I'll just pop that aside while I put away my embossing powder. Always a good idea to put away your embossing powder first before turning on your heat tool, just in case of accidents or in case you direct the heat in the wrong direction. You don't want to melt your whole pot of embossing powder. Okay, so this is the Stampin' Up! Heat tool, which I haven't plugged in yet, so I better plug that in. Let's move that. Hang on, I'll move that so that I don't knock it. Wow, I've got so much going on here on this desk. Let's just move some of this over there. Okay, and I'll plug this in. What can I unplug? Let's see, I can unplug my computer because it's charged up now. Plug in my heat tool. So the Stampin' Up! Heat tool, if you haven't seen this before, it's got a little stand so that you can stand it up on your desk to keep the heat off your desk. It's also got 2 settings. So it's got a #1 setting, which is great if you're drying something. So if instance, if you're working with watercolors and you want to dry something, use the #1 setting. The #2 setting is the one that we want to use for heat embossing. It's a hotter heat, and that's what we're going to be using today. So, all right, so we'll turn it on. We'll just let that warm up for a few seconds, because then that will be much easier for us to heat our images, and then that way too you're less likely to burn your cardstock. So you just hold it there. As soon as you see that start to change color, then move your heat tool along to the next section. Okay, be careful not to overheat, because if you overheat, then what will happen is your image will become dull and the embossing won't be raised. It'll actually go flat. And if it's metallic, you'll know the difference. It'll go really dull. There we go. So that's all we need to do. Okay, so we'll let that cool down a little bit, and we'll do the soft sea foam, and we're going to do the same with the same 2 flowers. I'm only going to use 1 flower of each size, but as I said, I can't decide which flower of which size is going to be placed in which section. Does that make sense? Makes sense in my head. So put 1 up there, 1 down there. Oh, did that one stamp even? Oh, yes. Okay. All right, repeat that process. So also too, the Versamark ink is also great for using for watermarking or for doing backgrounds. So if you want just something really subtle in the background, then it's really great for that too. Something I didn't use, which was my embossing buddy. Here it is here. This is a little anti-static pillow, and it is great to run that over your cardstock before you stamp, so that your embossing powder only sticks where you want it to, not to any other fingerprints or oils or anything that get on your cardstock. It's actually not too bad on this one today, and we are going to die cut these as well, so it's not quite as critical today. So we got away without using the embossing buddy. If you are doing a sentiment though, if you're stamping a sentiment, it is a good idea to use the embossing buddy, because when you stamp a sentiment, you only want to get the embossing powder, you know, on the actual sentiment, not everywhere else on your cardstock. All right, so we'll heat this again. There we go. See that turn straight away? Well, not straight away. It took a moment then, didn't it? But as soon as it starts to melt, you just move your heat tool to the next section. There we go. they look great. All right, so now we're going to stamp some leaves. So we'll pop those aside. We're going to do a little bit of inking on those, and I'll show you that in a moment. We're going to do some leaves on our soft succulent. So we want some of these ones. We're going to do one lot of these ones. And we'll do one of these ones. So that's the 3-leaf one, and then this is the 2-leaf. And then we've got the little tiny leaves as well. And we'll die cut all of these. There we go. We're going to do a little bit of inking on those as well. Okay, so we'll do the same again. Bring back in our paper for our white embossing powder. So yeah, so you don't need to have the embossing tray to do embossing. You can just use copy paper. In fact, this is what I used to always use before the embossing tray. I'll just use copy paper. Give it a little tap, tap, tap. I like to tap rather than flick. Some people flick their cardstock, but I have found myself when I have done a flick on the back, it removes too much. It's too much force going through the cardstock. And it removes too much of the embossing powder. So I like to just give a little gentle tap with the end of a brush or a pencil or a pen or whatever you've got on your desk. Even you take your pick tool, something like that. Just give a little tap, tap, tap. Okay, and we'll heat these ones. Now we do have two actually in the embossing additions toolkit, which contain the tray that I was mentioning. You also get the tweezers, the little brush, and the embossing buddy. And the tray, here's the tray. Oh. There's the tray. So these come in a kit. So it's called the Embossing Additions Kit. And you get all of these together. So these are really great. But yeah, as I said, if you're using white or clear, just make sure that you have your tray really, really clean, especially if you've used black embossing powder or one of the metallics. Okay, you've got to make sure that this is clean before. Yeah, otherwise you end up doing what I did. And you don't want to do that. So, okay, so we do have tweezers, so we can hold our cardstock in our tweezers so that we don't burn our fingers. And we'll just heat that up again for a moment. There we go. And we'll heat our, heat our leaves. There we go, done. The good thing I like too about these tweezers is because they're flat, you can actually sit them down on your desk and it holds your paper flat and they don't roll, or this doesn't tip over, or so if your embossing powder is still not set yet, for instance, if you've just put the powder on and you need to put this down, it actually sits flat. So I really love that. All right, I'll just put my heat tool over here. Hang on a sec, I've got to get rid of the cord. Move the cord out of the way. There we go. All right, good. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, oh, I need to clean all my stamps first. Let me do that. We should clean our stamps straight away. Get that ink off. And with the Versamark, when you use the Versamark, because it is quite a sticky ink, because it's a pigment ink, you've got to give them a really good scrub. Sometimes too, it's even good to put the Stampin' mist on them and use your Stampin' scrub rather than your chamois. So if you find that they still look a bit shiny or a bit sticky after you've used them, then you can yeah, use your Stampin' mist, which is a cleaning solution that Stampin' Up sells, and it gives them a really deep clean. There we go. Okay, And this is just the chamois, the Simply chamois that I'm using today. All right, so that is that. Now we need our colored inks back, so we'll bring those back in. Just move our stamps out of the way. There we go. Okay, and what we're going to do is we are going to ink a little bit with these two. I'm not doing, oh, I didn't get, actually, was I going to ink on the leaves? I was, but I didn't get my ink out for that one. I'll get that out too, Soft Succulent. I've got my blending brushes here. And so we're going to do a little bit of blending on these as well. So we need some soft sea foam, Pool Party, and then Soft Succulent for the leaves. I've got a little blending brush, and then, so these are the small blending brushes. These are the regular blending brushes, so you can see the different size. They come in a 3-pack, and depending on what you're wanting to color, yeah, you can use either one. The small ones, these are fairly new. They only just came out in January. And these ones are great for if you're wanting to color smaller areas. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of smaller sections today. So I might actually use that one. And I've got a few others. Here's a blue one. I might use that blue one for the Pool Party. And I'll use my green one for the green tones. All right, so I'll start off with my soft sea foam. And we're just going to color a little bit of ink onto, just double check that I've got the dark. I should have checked this first and get the dark color off my brush first. There we go. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to just add a little bit of color with the ink over that cardstock. So it's just going to be subtle, but it's going to add a little bit of something. Okay, can you kind of see the difference between this one and that one? See how this one's now got a little bit more sort of coloration to it? Now you'll notice that the ink, the actual embossing, because that's shiny, you notice that that's kind of turned a little bit green. It's picked up the green ink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a tissue and I'm just going to rub over that embossing, and that lifts off. Can you see the green ink on the tissue? That lifts off the ink from the embossing because the embossing resists the ink. Okay, so that's a little bit of emboss resist. There's much more to the emboss resist technique, but this is just basic emboss resist. So what I'm going to do with this flower is I'm going to just do small sections because this is a bigger flower. So I'm going to do the very center. I want the very center to be darker. Okay, and then just a few sections around the leaves, around the petals, sorry, not the whole flower. Okay, so now when we die cut this, it's going to have different colorations in the flower rather than it just being, actually let's do some dark in the center of this little one too. Rather than just being one solid color, it's going to have a little bit more definition to it. So it'll have more of a sort of watercolor effect to it. There we go. All right, so then we'll just rub over those again to remove the ink from the embossing. Because the embossing is shiny, like a shiny surface, the ink actually won't adhere to that. It won't stick to it. So just rub it back off because it resists the ink. There we go. Okay, so we're going to repeat that with the other colors. So we'll do our blue flowers or our Pool Party flowers with our Pool Party ink. Ah, thanks, Fee. Fee says nice. She's liking that. All right, so we'll use our Pool Party. So if you've used, I'll just give you a tip. If you've used another color on your scratch paper or scrap paper, as we call it here in Australia, be careful if you're changing colors not to ink back over that color, because if that hasn't quite dried, you will pick up that color into your blending brush. So you don't want to do that. So you can either turn your paper around so that you're not picking up So if you're blending off like that, you're not picking up any of that other color. All right, so we'll just do the same again. So dark in the center, and then just some darker areas on the flower. Okay, then we'll do the large one. Heavier in the center, because you know the centers of the flowers are usually darker, or often they're a different color altogether. And then we'll just, and this is a good thing I like about these little brushes too, is that you have more concentrated color, so you can control the color a bit better because you've got a smaller head. You could also do this with sponge daubers as well. If you don't have the blending brushes but you have sponge daubers, you can do the same thing with that as well. And with the sponge daubers, because they are a sponge on the top of the little plastic thing, let me grab them. Let me grab mine. So these are the sponge daubers. You'll get a more highly concentrated color when you're applying that, rather than the brushes, because the brushes are much softer than the sponge. Okay, so depending on your depth of color that you want, you can use either. Okay. There we go. All right, so we'll put that one away. Wipe these ones off with a tissue, again using a different part of the tissue because we don't want to pick up that green, we don't want to put that green ink onto our blue flowers or onto our pool party flowers. Just rub over that. See, we're getting that color coming back off the embossing because it's resisting the ink. There we go. Okay, so they are ready to die cut, and now we'll do the leaves. So we'll do the same thing with the leaves. This time I'm going to use a bit of soft succulent. So I'm going to a darker color, darker green. So just check that on my paper. Yep. All right, so again, just doing a little bit over the top. It's not as noticeable with this color so much because this is quite dark cardstock. Well, it's reasonably dark cardstock already. And then, yeah, so it doesn't, you won't notice as much, but it'll just be a little, you know, a little hint of different color. There we go. All right. Now, because I just used a dark color on my green brush, I'm going to just rub off any excess that might be on there onto my scrap paper while I've got it here, so that when I go to use a lighter green next time, I don't transfer that dark ink into my light green ink pad. There we go. Good. Alrighty. So now let's pop that up to the side. All right. So here we've got, oops, I didn't rub off my leaves, did I? There we go. See, look, see how the ink comes back off the embossing, but it adheres to the cardstock. There we go. All right, so that's what they look like now, and now we're going to die cut them. Okay, so we'll bring in our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, our Mighty Mini, and with the Mighty Mini, as I call it, with the mini machine, it comes with all of the plates that you need for die cutting and embossing. So you'll be set to go when you get your mini machine. All right, so I'm die cutting, so I'm going to use my base plate number 1, clear plate number 2, and I'm going to use a clear plate number 2 on the top as well. All right, so we have got both flowers there. Now let's see, can I fit them on there? I've cut my cardstock just, oh, we might fit them on there. Let's see. I'm just thinking my dies are going to be very close to the edge of the cardstock there. Sorry, the edge of the plates, I should say. So, all right, so we've got dies for cutting these flowers. So we'll take those off. And I'm not sure, I might need to cut these apart, these flowers off this cardstock. We'll just see, because they're going to be very close to the edge. Oh, we might get away with it. Just got to get these dies around the right way first. Is it that? Did I have it the right way? Oh, I had it the right way the first time. There we go. It's right near the edge. That's right near the edge. I think we should be all right. Actually, you know what? I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk them not cutting, because I've just taken all that time. They look like they were going to be a little bit close to the edge. So what I'm going to do is just cut them out. There we go. And I'll just place them on the plate that way. There we go. Then I know that they are within the edges of the plate there. All right, so we're just going to line these up. I'm going to grab a little bit of washi tape. Oh, hang on a sec. There we go. So you can use either washi tape or you can use a Post-it note as well. So if you don't have washi tape, you can just use a Post-it note. Usually we've all got Post-it notes lying around somewhere to just hold that. Just use the sticky end of the Post-it note to hold that die in place around your stamped image. Just make sure I'm lining that up correctly. There we go. Let's go this way. I'll just take that bit off. There we go. And these ones are a little bit long, so just take some of that Post-it note off there. There we go. And we'll line this one up. There we go. Use that Post-it note to hold that in place. Okay, and then our clear plate goes over the top. Oops, line those plates up. Now, what we want to do when we're using our plates in our, there's two different ways. So this is the first way that we were originally taught to stagger our plates. Okay, so stagger them back like that. Stampin' Up! Have recently said that think about E. So what they mean is if you think about E, so you start with your base plate, you stagger back your second plate, and then your third plate goes in line with your first plate. So the second plate is back a bit further. Oh, and my die moved when I did that. So hang on a minute, let me just, that Post-it note didn't stick properly. Let's just do that again. Lucky I checked, because otherwise that would have been a disaster. Oh, now it's stuck to me. There we go. Okay, is that one still right? Yep. Okay, so then we put this, oh my goodness. Then we put this one in line with the bottom one. There we go, like that. So that it forms like a capital E. Okay, so does that make sense? Let me see that. So this one in the middle is sitting further back than these two. So I haven't tried doing it like an E yet, because normally I stagger them the other way that we originally showed. Oh, there you go. It does work. It feeds through much more easily. There you go. Or if you stagger them the other way, it does feed through easily too. If you have them all butted up against, all three of them butted up against each other at the end, it can make them a little bit hard to feed through. So just make sure you stagger them. There we go. There's our beautiful flowers. They look pretty. Oh, I like that with the different colors in them. Awesome. All right, so we'll cut out the next one as well. So we'll do the same with these ones. We'll just cut them out of, in fact, they probably would have fit through, but that's okay. There we go. So we'll fit them on our plate there. Line up our dies. So, because I didn't announce today that I was going live, because I totally forgot, and so a lot of you jumped on a little bit later, I didn't get a chance to ask you all what you had been doing on the weekend, because I think I was already chatting about things when a lot of you jumped on. So share with me in the comments what you did on the weekend, and did you get any crafting done? I had a pretty quiet weekend, just working away, trying to catch up on things from the week that I didn't get done when I had to take time off. And yeah, I didn't do anything much of anything really, apart from catching up on work. So that was about it. All right. So we'll die cut these ones. But did anybody do anything exciting on the weekend? Oh, Fee had a card and cuppa on the weekend. Very nice. I saw the photos of that. Looked like lots of fun. Very good. So Fee did some crafting on the weekend. What about everybody else? Did everybody else do some crafting? I wanted to do some crafting. I had watched a video of somebody else crafting, and I was going to create a similar project, but and I wrote down all the dimensions, but I didn't get it done. But I'm keeping it in mind because it's one that I might share. It's a card that I might share in a Facebook Live. So yeah, so hopefully I'll get to that in the next couple of weeks. Lots of things, just so many things. Like there's so many things I want to share with you all. Like there's always so many great ideas. I'm always like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. And you know, there's only so many things you can squeeze in a week. So there's always lots of great ideas out there. Oops, that moved again. Okay, now stay there please as I put this down. There we go. Good. Deborah said no crafting for her. She went to Cockatoo Island for a walk around and lunch with the family. Oh, that sounds lovely. Do you know, I've never been to Cockatoo Island. I've heard of so many people going there. And yeah, and I've never actually been. So what's there on Cockatoo Island? What's there to see? So just lots of nature. I know that there's been some like musical performances and stuff, because I know that John Farnham has performed there in the past before he became ill. And yeah, that's about all that I know about Cockatoo Island. I don't know much about it at all, really. But it sounds lovely. It sounds like a nice place to go to. All right. So we've got those on there. Let's do our E again with our plates, and we'll run those through. We actually had one of our big succulent plants out the back in our garden basically collapsed on itself. Well, not on itself, it collapsed. It fell apart on the weekend. I think it might have been when we had that wind the other day. One of the days, was it Friday or Saturday, was really, really windy. And yeah, one of our big succulent plants just split in half and like fell over. It was like when we looked at the roots had rotted. So I don't know if it had just been too wet, or probably that's it. It was probably too wet in the garden for it or something. So yeah, oh wait, we've got one more thing to dye. Deborah said shipbuilding used to happen there. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's what they used to use Cockatoo Island for. Ah, interesting. That would be really interesting then to have a look over there. Is it very big? Like, can you walk around the whole island in a short amount of time, or is it like really big? So we're going to take this piece here now and we're going to die cut that as well in white cardstock. And that's what this strip here is for. So we'll put that on here and here. Now I might swap my plates over because this one is a little bit bowed, and if I put it on that one it might bow my die. So just swap my plates over. We're going to die cut this all the way across. Now because we've got a straight edge here, we need to make sure that we put this die down at a little bit of an angle to make it easier for it to feed through the machine. Anytime you've got a straight edge die, you should always put it at a bit of an angle. All right, hold that there. Do our E with our plates. Okay, now this is a detailed die, so this one might take a little bit of cranking through, but the machine's handling it okay. There we go. Now, before I remove that, I'm just going to turn that over and make sure that that all die cut. Yeah, that looks good. Looks like it did. All right, so it took off the edges, and now, oh, do you know what? I think we might need our die brush. I'm going to grab my die brush for this one. And that's all our die cutting done. So I can put the machine away now. My mighty mini. Grab one right now when you purchase your starter kit and join my team. You can choose the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, as I mentioned earlier, and $315 worth of product, and only pay $210. So you get $215 worth of value for free. Which is amazing, amazing value. And so it's the only time that that offer is going to be available is during celebration, and that finishes on the 28th of February. All right, so just using our die brush to just roll that through to release any of those little pieces in our die. And then see how they all just fall out, all those little bits. There we go. And then we're left with our piece that we're going to adhere to our card. Oh, there's one little piece there that didn't come out, so we'll just use our pokey tool and poke that out, and all the other pieces fell out. There you go. Isn't that so cool? Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Put our die back on our die sheet. So this is so cool, this piece. I love this. All right, so now we need to just put everything together. So I'll just pop my scissors away, my little paper snips. All right, so first of all, we might glue this piece. So this piece is going on to here. So we need to add some glue to this one. So I'll bring back in my grid paper. Oh, you love the dies, Dimity? Yeah, they're great, aren't they? They're really cool, these ones. Very different and very interesting. Deborah said, we walked the entire island. You can camp or stay in the old home. Oh, really? That's so cool. So if you walked the whole island, it mustn't be so big. How long did it take you to walk the whole island? I guess it would also depend on how fast you walk. I don't walk very fast these days, but I'm hoping to walk faster sooner. Mind you, I am walking a bit faster at the moment than I was walking a week ago, which is good. Alrighty. So I'm just putting some glue on the dot parts of this piece where it's a little bit thicker. You could actually put some adhesive sheets on the back of this before die cutting it so that the whole thing becomes a sticker. You could do that, or you could use the glue dabbing technique, which I've shown before, using your sponge, your craft sponge, and dab glue on the entire piece. You could do that as well. There we go. So that's just going to fit beautifully along there, like that. Look at that. How cool is that? That is such a cool piece. I love that. All right, we've got some little pieces that are just sticking up here on the end, so I'm going to just put a little bit of glue. Now we do have our fine tip glue as well, so if you wanted a finer glue with a finer tip on it, you can use that as well. I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of glue on each of these to hopefully get them to stick down. There we go. How cool is that? Doesn't that look awesome? I love those. I don't even know how you would describe that. It's like spots and stripes, isn't it? All sort of together. So awesome. All right. Okie dokie. Now comes the fun part, putting it all together. All right. What we're going to do is, first of all, we are going to add our bridge. Okay, so we've got that all ready. We've got our flowers all done. We've got our embellishments, all our designer series paper on the background, and our embellishments on there too. Let's just move that away. That's a bit distracting. Okay, so what we're going to do now is pop our bridge down. Now the best way to do it is to fold in one of your sides and to line it up that way. Okay, now sometimes, depending on how you've scored it, sometimes one way it'll line up better than if you do it the other way. And it can depend, because here too, we've got a bit of dimension here with the sentiment. So that's going to sit up a little bit more on that side. So that could affect how it lines up. But let's just see. Yeah, see, I think it lined up a bit better the other way because we've got that height there. So if we go this way, so we'll close one side over, leave the other side open. Yep, and that's going to line up beautifully that way. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to add some glue. So we're just going to add some glue. I'm going to line this up so I can see where I'm going to add my glue. Okay, so I'm going to add my glue in here because we don't want to add too much glue. You don't want to go over the edge onto here. Okay, so you only want the glue to go just in that one panel. Okay, so don't add too much. Don't go too wide there. You just want it to adhere in that first panel. All right, so let's pop that down, line that up, line it up along the bottom. And actually, Deborah, that is on here with us today from our team, she is the one who showed me how to make these bridge fold cards. Deborah shared with our team how to make these in one of our team gatherings, and everybody loved them. So there we go. So that's how we do that. All right, so just press that down for a little moment and see how that'll fold nice and flat to fit into a standard envelope. There we go. And then when that's secured, now sometimes too you might still get a little bit of overhang. I've got a tiny little bit of overhang here, and put my gluey fingers on there. Goodness me. Need my baby wipes out, don't I? So if you get that tiny little bit of overhang there, you can just trim that off with your paper snips. All right, so just be careful when you're doing that. Make sure you're only going to the card base edge and just take off that tiny little bit of edge. Tiny little bit of edge there, just a tiny little slither. Alrighty. Okay, so that's all done. Beautiful. Okay, so it'll fold flat both ways. Sometimes you might fold. There was one that I made and I found that it folded flat really well one way but didn't fold flat the other way. Again, it depends on the dimension you've got on this background piece. So just have a little play with that. Okay, so that's our bridge fold card. Now we're going to add all of our flowers, and here's where we start to decide on which flower is which. So let's see, do we want to go this way with our flowers like that? Oh, they've got to be up from the bottom. Or do we want to go this way with our light color as the big flower and our darker color as the small flower? Oh, I think I like it that way. Yes, that's the one. See, I'm glad and these two, I can save them for another project. So I'll keep them in my packet with my stamp set, and we can use them on another project. All right, and then we've got our leaves as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere this flower, again, being careful when you're adhering your flower that it only adheres to one panel, because you don't want to put glue underneath this part, because when you fold it down flat, it'll then adhere to the base, and you don't want it to adhere to that base, otherwise it won't pop back up. Okay, so we're going to adhere that one down flat. Oh, I think I forgot some extra extra leaves actually. I think there were 2 more of these leaves. I just realized there's 2 more of those leaves up there. So I will get to them. I'll just do this bit first. I won't put the glue all the way. So I'll just flip that over. I won't put the glue all the way to the top so that I can just slip them in afterwards. So we'll pop that in, pop that there like that. Okay. And then this one I might, I'll put it up on dimensionals. I might put this one up onto some dimensionals, I think. And then we'll sneak the leaves in underneath. Alrighty. So let me get my Take Your Pick tool. We'll pop a couple of dimensionals under this flower, just where they're going to adhere to the bridge there. Probably only need 2. Yep. And before I adhere them, I'm just going to use my bone folder to just curl up the edges just ever so slightly. Now, when you've got embossing on them, you do need to be a little bit careful because you don't want to damage that embossing. I just want to give them a little bit of a lift. There we go. Okay. So we'll take those off and pop this one on here. About there. There we go. And now we can slip the little leaves under there. Again, we can give those a little tweak with our bone folder. Give them a little curl. I'm annoyed with myself that I missed those other 2 leaves. I'll have to go back and do them. But that's okay. All right, what we're going to do is we'll just glue these in. We're just going to slip them in there. So just put a bit of glue on the base there. Slide them in. And just press them down. Okay, and then these ones on the other side, a little bit of glue on the bottom. Tuck them in under here. I'm going to tuck them in under both flowers, but we want to make sure that bottom leaf doesn't go below the bottom of the card there. Okay, secure that in there, and then this little one, put a bit of glue on the bottom of that one too, and slip that in under there. Oh, we might have that one coming over the top of that one. There we go, that's better. Okay, great. Looking fantastic. All right, we need to quickly do those other 2 leaves and then we're going to bling it all up. Alrighty, so let's grab, I've got a little bit of that cardstock left. I've got my little leaf. Let's do this real quick. Okay, so we've got 1 and 2 and our embossing. Embossing powder, quickly sprinkle that on. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Tap, tap, tap. Use my bone folder to tap this time. It was what was closest at hand. There we go. All right, and we'll tip this back in. Can do this real quick. All right. Is anybody crafting along with me today? I didn't even ask that before. I usually always ask if anyone's crafting along with me, and I totally forgot today. Give my stamp a quick little clean. Deborah said there's also old convict ruins to explore. Oh, that would be cool. Very interesting. Lots of history over there on Cockatoo Island. Sounds awesome. Might have to make that trip one day. I guess, do you get there by ferry? Sounds like that's probably the way to go, being that it's an island. I'll just heat up my heat tool again. No, Fee's not crafting, but she said it looks beautiful and she's writing instructions. Oh, awesome. Very good. Oh, I got a bit of excess embossing powder on this one because I didn't use my embossing buddy. But that's okay because we're going to die cut these. So it's all good. Okay. Grab my little, grab my ink again. Just give these a little bit of an inking as well, like we did with the other ones. Make sure that that embossing powder has cooled down before you ink them too, by the way. I didn't say that before, but yeah, you want to make sure that that ink is cooled. Wow, I got lots of extra embossing powder on this one. It must have been well handled earlier. Man-handled, woman-handled. That's okay. We're going to die cut them, so it's all good. And I don't mind a little bit of splatter on the leaves anyway. So I think that's pretty. All right, here we go. Here's our dies. Bring back in our mini. Or just move our card away. I'm loving the card. It's looking great. And those greens and blues are so pretty. And if Pretty Peacock is actually coming back, I'm very excited about that. And I have some friends who I know will also be very excited about that because I have some friends who absolutely loved Pretty Peacock. So that will be awesome. But we will soon find out. Apparently we will find out in March, on the 1st of March. 1st of March? Was that the date? Very soon anyway. And then as soon as I know, I'll let you all know. Oh, Deborah's making some shaker cards. Awesome. Fantastic. What are you using for your shaker cards, Fee? Sorry, not Fee. Deborah, what are you using for your shaker cards? Just line up this little die. There we go. Stampin' Up's got lots of great embellishments for using in shaker cards. And these little loose frosted dots would be great in shaker cards too. As I mentioned earlier, they're so pretty. I haven't made a shaker card in quite some time actually. I feel like I need to make some more shaker cards. I was talking to I mentioned it to Amber the other day. I was looking at, what was I looking at? Something, I might have seen something online or something with some shaker cards. Oh, I was watching a video. it might have been last week when I was convalescing from my hospital trip. And I was watching a video of somebody making shaker cards. And I was like, oh, I really need to make shaker cards. Deborah's making shaker cards. So that is awesome. Oh, the cards for your son-in-law. Oh, and it's for his, because of his trade, you are using washers, nuts, and bearings. Oh, that is so clever. I love that idea. Very clever. Okay. Oop. Here we go. Alrighty. So we will pop these little leaves in here. So put a little bit of glue. See, we made them really quick. Oh, I didn't shape these ones. That's okay. That's all right. Never mind. All right, so I'm going to pop this one in here. And let's give them a little tweak. Just a little tweak with my fingers. Let's give this one a little curl. And here we go. And pop this little one in here. Now again, they can't go outside of the edge there because otherwise the card won't fit properly in the envelope. So just be careful of that. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Now let's have a look at these frosted dots and think about what we're going to use. So let's see. We'll have a look and see what, we might use a smaller one on that one. But do we want those colors? We'll keep that all the same as the background. I do like that. I think that looks pretty. Let's have a look at what the yellow ones would look like. Oops, just there's no yellow in this, so it might bring in a different color and look a bit funny. I'm not sure. What do you think? Kind of looks a bit odd, doesn't it? Just one yellow one. Oh my goodness, I need a drink of water. Let me grab my water. Oh, thanks, Julie. Oh dear, frog. See, I'm out of practice. See what happens? You don't come live for like a week and things fall apart. Yeah, no, I think I like the darker colors. I'm not vibing those yellow ones. I think I'm liking these darker ones. Let's keep them all the same, hey? All right, let's pop some glue on here. So we'll use a large one for the large flower and a medium-sized one for the medium flower. Let's pop my finger in underneath the bridge there to support that one as I hold that, and in under the flap there. There we go. And then we'll pop a couple more over here on the side. Let's see. We might do a small one and a large one. What do we think? Over there? Yeah, let's do that. All right, on Amber's original, she had done something similar. So I'm just supporting my hand underneath that flap there while I adhere that one. And then I want that one about there. So put the glue there. There we go. All right. Deborah says, beautiful card, got to go for your dinner is ready. Ah, awesome. No worries, Deborah. Thank you so much for joining me. And I would love to see your shaker card when you finish it. Send me a picture. Love to see it. Or better still, post it in our team group. I'm sure everyone would love to see it. Oh, I made it so beautiful. Thank you so much, Martha. That's lovely. There we go. Done. We are done. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I just love this suite of products. It's so gorgeous. All right. So there you go. There is my finished card. I love the greens and blues. I also love the one that Amber made with the pinks and yellows incorporated with the greens as well. So there you go. So different, aren't they? Same design, exact same design, but just using the different papers from the suite. And they just look so different, don't they? So I really love them. Thank you so much, Amber, for that design. I really love that. And yeah, I'm very happy with the papers that I chose for today's one. Really pretty, and I love the colors. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Awesome. Oh, thank you, Dimity. Dimity says gorgeous. Julie said such a gorgeous card. Thanks, Martha. Yeah. Great. Good. Yeah, so it's really easy to create beautiful cards with this suite because it's just so pretty. So remember to look out for it if you don't already have it. It's the Hello Irresistible Suite Collection. For demonstrators, it's available now. So if you don't already have it, look out for it. But for customers, it will be available from the 1st of March. So look out for it. It'll be on the online store. Yeah, so it's just so gorgeous. So definitely look out for that. I really enjoy playing with that. That's beautiful. So you will find these products available on the 1st of March in my online store at mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, or you can get to it via my website as well, mandywitherby.stampinup.net. Either way, you can find my online store there. Now this is my February 2023 host code. So for March, there will be a new host code. So I'll make sure that I get that one out in March, so that if you're shopping with me in March, be sure to use that one. And if you're shopping with me this month in February, make sure you use this one. And if your order is over $75 when you use that host code, I'll be able to give you a thank you gift for shopping with me. All right. Well, I'm going to quickly tip the camera back up so that I can say goodbye to you. So bear with me one moment while I just do that. Here we go. Cover it up and we'll do a little flippity flip. Okay, nearly there. Bear with me. Oh boy, I'm hot now. I need an ice block or a cold drink or something. There we go. Okay. Good. There we are. Oh, it's so nice to be back with you. It's so nice to be able to craft again. And yeah, but let me hold it up so you can see. Aren't they great? I love these cards, these fun fold cards, these bridge fold cards. They're so fun to create. And as I said earlier, you can write on that panel there. If you want to decorate that up a little bit, you could put a little bit of DSP on there to give like a pretty border, or even another different colored designer series, cardstock, and then another light color over the top. So you can do a couple of extra layers there. So that you can write a nice message there. You can even stamp a greeting on a piece of cardstock and then adhere that on there, or use one of your punches. Yeah, so much you can do. But so I will add that on a little bit later, but I'm really happy with how that turned out. That's really pretty, isn't it? Yeah, love it. Love those papers. They're gorgeous. So if there's anything that I can help you with, please be sure to let me know. Get in contact with me. I will pop my my links in the details of this video, both on Facebook and on YouTube. I keep on going to say Instagram. No, on YouTube, so that you can get in contact with me, and there'll be links to remember about my metallics and specialty paper samplers. If you want to get in on those, actually, while I am here, let me put up the link for that again for you in case you weren't here earlier. I'll just put that in the comments right now, and you can go and check that out. The registrations for that are open until next Monday. So they're open just for a week for my metallics and specialty paper samplers. You can get either or you can get both. It's totally up to you, and then I can post them out to you. And that'll give you a great sample of all those beautiful metallics and the specialty papers from the annual catalogue. So you'll have lots to play with. Alrighty, so I hope that you all have a great week. I am planning to go live again on Thursday, all being well, Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. So I hope you can join me. I already have a project for that day as well. We're going to be playing with, well, I'm not going to tell you. I'll keep it a secret. I'll keep it a surprise, but we are creating a really pretty card. Playing with different products, not these ones that we played with today. It'll be something different. So I look forward to seeing you then. If not, I'll see you out there in cyberspace, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. And remember that fantastic join offer. Come and join the fun of our team. Join our creative community and have lots of fun. Take advantage of Celebration, get all those freebies, and then an ongoing discount for as long as you like. All right, so I look forward to seeing you all again soon. So happy crafting, everyone. Bye.